So this should be kind of interesting. This is something I actually bought myself. It was one of those Kickstarter projects. This is a they call it a, crap, I forget what it's called. It's basically a silicon radiation detector. It uses basically a big area diode to detect beta and gamma radiation. It was a Kickstarter project I backed a while back. It was fairly inexpensive too. I think it was like 30-something bucks. It might have been 50. But, you know, anyways, they finally shipped, and I just got it today. It comes as a kit, so I'm going to have to put it together. I may just kind of condense portions of it, but it should be quite interesting. So, probably stickers, little PC board, some sticky tape, big bag of parts, and then, oh yeah, APOC mini radiation detector. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. So this looks to be casing bits. Yep. That's all just, oh, it smells like, oh, it's laser cut polycarb. Those are really thick. I wonder why they're so thick. It looks kind of like that's intended to go like that. I don't actually know how the case fits together, as you can probably tell. But, oh, it's so cute. It's got a little radiation sensor there. And then these are side panels. On, off, DATA, plus minus S. Oh, I guess maybe it has a data logger output of some sort. Looks like this was machined. Anyways, let's have a look at the parts bits. So, that is a headphone cable. That's another headphone cable. That is a sticker for somebody. And that is a big bag of parts. Looks like this is probably, yeah, that's our large area photodiode. These are for radio controlled planes. 9 volts. This is an extension. Cut up pin headers. Interesting. Transistor, more photodiodes. I guess they put a bunch of them in series. And that's, look at the, I mean, I'm not too thrilled with the packaging. Look, these diodes got kind of smooshed. I can't say I'm that enthusiastic. And then we have a bunch of copper tape. Here's the actual board. Yeah, we can see we have a bunch of photodiodes. I bet they cover them with the copper tape. I bet that's how it works. Let me go grab my iPad and we will look. So, continuing the saga of this thing. So they're being very lame about their documentation. They're kind of, you know, they've been preparing their silly kit for a very long time now, and then suddenly, you know, they're ready to kind of go into production and like going, oh God, we don't know what to do. You know, we haven't done any of the docs, and it's kind of like, haven't you been working on this for months? They don't even have a schematic release. This is a very sparse parts list. And they've got a whole bunch of instructions written for basically people who don't know what they're doing, but I do know what I'm doing, so I'm like, give me a schematic, and they're like, you won't get anywhere, and I'm kind of like, says who, and why do you think that, and how do you know anything about me? So, anyways, I'm just going to stuff everything from the schematic and probably try and figure out the rest myself, because they're not being very productive. They also have some weird stuff, like they want you to put the photodiodes on first, which I think is kind of bananas, because, you know, they've got the nice plastic surface, and I don't want them to be rubbing all over the table while it's, you know, while I'm doing the assembly. Anyways, carry it on. And their idea of packing is dump everything in an anti-static bag, and you can see it's all bent up. I mean, I've put together a number of kits over the years, and this is Not very pretty. So the idea is, I understand it, is that I'm pretty confident that you wrap this copper tape around the photodiodes, and that's their kind of a shielding for them, if you will. You know, because basically they're being used for radiation detection, which means you can't have stray light getting in there because they're much more sensitive to light than radiation. And then I think you actually solder it down to this exposed copper strip, which is what the sandpaper's for. So there's a fun little trick. If you need to tack something, hold it onto a board, if you can kind of lean your solder against the pin, you can often get enough of a tack hold that you can, you know, it'll hold the part in place without it falling out. Okay, so this is just a speaker, because I have it connected to my signal generator. It's not a very loud speaker. That's 15 volts? That can't be right. Oh. So now it's a square wave drive. Yeah, so that's 5 volts peak to peak. So it is quite loud. It's just I'm below the frequency at which it really works. Actually, I'm creating computer music. Anyways, so I didn't blow it. That's nice. Also, signal generator. Okay, so that's it. They did post a text instruction of it, but amusingly enough, it's literally exactly what I thought it was. So I don't have any electrical tape on hand, but I do have this sticker they included. And frankly, I don't really get why people like product stickers. I've never been particularly enamored by them. We got enough bullshit product placement in our lives as it is. I don't really want to be an enabler. Don't be part of the problem, man. So, what I'm going to do is just, like, people on Kickstarter, there's always like, hey, this you do give us this much money and you get stickers. You get a t-shirt. It's like, yeah, I want a t-shirt with a symbol on it that no one has any idea what it means. I just don't even understand it. I mean, like, there are definitely t-shirts I like Dave Jones has that I only give negative feedback t-shirt, because it's a circuit. You know, I mean, it's not like one particular product. It's generic. You know, and there can be a little like, this is who I bought it from, thing in the corner, but, you know, need to cut that a little deeper. You know, but, like, I don't really get, I actively debrand stuff I own. Like, I will, you know, actively go about trying to remove any branding on it just because it's just obnoxious. I don't want to be a walking billboard. This will probably melt a little bit when I'm soldering it around near it, but you know what? Don't really care. I actually stole a bunch of, let's see, is it still in my pocket? I have a fallback position. And the problem is you're going over component leads, and when you trim component leads, they get sharp. So now let's make sure it doesn't blow up when I power it. I always... Alright. Cool. Oops. That's not where I want to put the jumper. Okay, great. So, our shielding is installed without shorting anything out. So now I'm going to push this tape down and then just solder it a couple places. Ooh, that solder's easy. There we are. This is dead easy to solder. You can probably tell I'm kind of like dabbing and backing off just to try not to melt the sticker. Alright, so now that that's all together, is the right way around. We are up and running. Oh, there's the end, one end of the pot range. He just flashed. I'm approaching the other end. This is a 25. It's either 12 or 25 turns. Oh, there's the other end. Where is my hot lens? I think one of these jumpers have to be placed somewhere. Oops. It's drawing 10 milliamps. Okay, noticeably warmer. That's one of my swizzle sticks. This is what you really want for adjusting a potentiometer. This lens has uranium glass in it, so it's quite radioactive. That's interesting. There's a point right there where it... Okay, let me put the speaker on because I think that'll tell me something more. It looks like it's like a sweet spot type shenanigan, where you tune it into the area where it's, you know, basically you're tuning the threshold of a comparator, I suspect. Not need to be a particularly nice solder joint. So. I see. So it's acting like there's a noise source in there, but it doesn't seem proportional to my radiation source. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, okay, so it seems to be working. You can see pretty low counts per minute. So that seems... Yeah. So it seems like it's distinctly clicking more when I put it on the lens. Yeah, it's like 2 counts per second right now, maybe. Whereas on the... So I didn't catch when this thing stopped recording, but there you are. Oops. So... I may have the calibration wrong. In fact, I probably have the calibration wrong. And I don't think this was a very hot source anyways. But... definitely a noticeable difference. Yeah, it's a neat kit. You know, I'll have to do some more fidgeting with it. Challenge-wise, I'd say 1.5 out of 5, you know, for assembly. Nothing hard in here at all, despite all the drama they made of it in the documentation. And there you go.